Welcome to Birds of a Feather. This is your girl AJ, the Suburban Princess, here with another series of 5 questions. This time, I get another personality of mine that I've always talked to back and forth on Twitter. He's not on the East Coast, he's on the West Coast, but that's what even makes this more fun. So hopefully we will get to learn more interesting things about Picclo. What up, buddy?
Hey,
How you doing?
I am great, Miss AJ. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm very thankful you're doing this because I'm close to some of the Fourth and Jawn guys, and you see I reposted on Instagram the video that you did because that was a very fun summer. Obviously, a lot
I
of
love
stuff happened
that.
that year, and I got to meet you at one of the tailgates, so that's why I really wanted to talk to you because you're fun peoples. I listened to the Cookout, one of his many albums that are online now. That definitely follow Picclo on Instagram. He'll tell you at the end.
Oh
So
yeah.
what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna shoot random questions at you. Just
Okay.
let me know whatever you feel, and from then on, if you want to ask me something at the end, feel free. If not, I'm cool with it. You know me. I told you I just ordered food, so I'm ready to eat. So it's whatever. So no rush. All right. So for the first question, right off the bat, I thought about this question because they were making fun of Lil Wayne recently,
Mm,
and I just figured 2020 in a nutshell has been awful for most people, most of us.
true.
Been
True.
stressful. If 2020 were a rapper, what would you define 2020 as if you could choose a rapper that represents 2020 and its craziness? Who would it be?
Wow.
I know that requires thought, but at the same time, I thought it was pretty cute. Because
If 2020 was a rapper,
everybody got these personalities now, and all these littles out there, and or even people that you like. Who do you think of like when you're like, dang, 2020, man? If it could be a rapper or a personality.
2020 is Silk the Shocker,
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's a name I
and
haven't
I'm
heard.
gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Because when Silk the Shocker came out, I was probably 7, 8. You know what I'm saying? He had that song, "It Ain't My Fault," which
Yes,
everybody loves that song, right?
everybody loves it because they weaved it in with "Did I Do That" with
Right,
Urkel.
right.
Mhm.
So with that, you saw like the potential of what he could be,
Right.
but we really didn't focus in on what he was saying. Silk
True.
the Shocker is terrible. He is terrible. Like, just ain't there's nothing rap wise. Because listen, I downloaded a few of his albums and I'm like, let me just listen to see if I still feel the same way when I was 7.
Hmm.
No, hell no. He
No
is
substance.
terrible. But I say that to say because when 2019 ended and we were going into 2020, I'm like, this is my year. I'm
Hmm.
gonna have fun and I'm gonna do this. I can't wait to get back to Philly. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like all that stuff, right?
Right.
And then that was the "It Ain't My Fault"
Right.
part of 2020. And
Yeah.
then you realize, like, no,
Whoops. Yeah. Okay.
no,
Now
this
I
ain't
see
it.
you.
So
Yeah. Okay. I feel because the only
2020 is
thing I'm
Silk the
thinking
Shocker.
about with Silk the Shocker is the song he did with Maya. That's the when I
Moving
think
on.
is it moving on? I thought there was another song though.
The "I'll be moving
That and then there was a
on.
song like "What You Gonna Do with the team?"
Be we can do that's somebody like me. I think
Somebody like me. Okay,
somebody
yes.
like me. Yep.
I knew you would know because
Yep.
you know how you just remember certain videos. Like that's one of those videos I saw every now and then. I'll be like, "Why was she dating him?" But then I was like, "Whatever." Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on. Okay, so movies. What type of movies are you into? Especially with quarantine, I ask this because everyone has adopted certain habits. I never was that much of a Netflixer until quarantine,
Mhm.
and I found that I've been attracted to a lot of these chefs, um, documentaries about food, just stuff, the way they film it. So, what is one genre of movies do you like? And if not, have you adopted a new one because of quarantine?
I'm typically comedy and suspense type
Mhm.
stuff. So I do like horror movies as well. But
Mhm.
like for example, my favorite movie of all time is Coming to America.
Oh, of
And
course.
it's not super carefully acted or anything like that. It's just a great film to me, like
So
the
many gems.
nostalgia of the 80s and
Yep.
just the whole storyline. Like I just love that movie.
It's too
But
many
then
too many lines too. You remember?
yeah, it's so many lines.
So many.
But like I love Dallas Buyers Club. with Matthew McConaughey.
I haven't seen that, but I know that he got an Oscar.
Great film.
Yeah.
Great film. And it has nothing to do with jokes or anything like that. It's actually on a serious topic.
No, it is. Yeah.
So I'm all over the place when it comes to movies. I love Endgame and Infinity War. I've watched Infinity War probably like no gas since I want to say like at least 100 times.
I believe it because first of all, if you follow that genre of movies, I'm the only person who tuned into Black Panther. I didn't follow all the other movies. Yeah. And I think it was Avengers, but I don't think it was Endgame. It might have just been Avengers that I watched with someone because they just wanted to see it. And I was just like, they were like, you have to watch all these movies. I was like, wait, I have to watch what? And they were like, because you're not going to get the ending and all this other stuff. So when I realized I missed a lot more of Black Panther than I thought when me and my mom saw it in the theater, I was like, oh, there's a whole nother scene towards the end of those credits. Like I didn't know it was that deep. So now that I know, I might end up binge watching if we go into another quarantine.
Well, yeah, like the funny thing was like I've been watching from jump, like the very first Iron Man, and I started to put 2 and 2 together with all of these Marvel films, and I'm like, oh, okay, they planning something.
Yeah. And I wasn't following that, but yeah. If you know, you know. But I remembered that Twitter blew up when that movie finally dropped, and I just remember saying like I had to get off of Twitter because I was the only person that was like feeling like
I had to mute everybody.
Oh yeah, it was hard because then you got people who were mad when who was it, Shady, that broke the ending or something. Something Shady revealed that got everybody ticked on Twitter, and I thought it was for Endgame or maybe it was Game of Thrones.
You're probably talking about Star-Lord when they were at the opportunity of getting the gauntlet off of Thanos, and he asked about Gamora, which he killed, and
that was something that wasn't supposed to be revealed before everybody saw it. I just know people went ape crap on Shady for a while, and they were like, "Why'd he tell the ending?" And I'm like,
"Yeah, like shut up,
I'm
fool.
out."
Yeah,
it's a big thing. All right, well, okay. So, who is your favorite artist, regardless, like music wise? Who is your favorite artist that really moved you to even want to rap or do music? Period.
Okay, wait. See, that's 2 totally different questions. Because if I'm saying
restructure,
if I'm saying like the artist that impacted my life the most,
okay, there you go,
Michael Jackson.
All right.
And I think that's because like I remember being a 4-year-old trying to do all the dance moves in the living room. You know, I had the original VHS of Moonwalker that I've seen probably more than I've seen in Infinity War.
Okay.
There's so many artists, man. Is there
anybody you feel? Let's just narrow it down to like, who are you feeling right now? Then I should say. So who is like someone you're really into right now, at the present time? If there's anyone, right? Right. I'm sorry. Of course.
Okay, so I enjoy listening to Tank.
Okay.
R&B artist. Like he's my favorite R&B artist, period. A lot of people want to take like they'll pick other R&B, like he's my guy. So I roll with Tank. My girl has got me on Masego. Masego is very dope.
I've heard of his name.
He has that song that that joy, that's him. Yeah, but I listen to a little bit of everybody. I like Little Baby, the Baby, of course. Out here on the West Coast, I really enjoy like OT Genesis makes very, very, very good records.
Okay.
Of course, the Kendricks, the J. Coles. Drake is a GOAT in my eyes. Jay-Z, Nas, you know, it's all the typical artists. Like I literally listen to everybody. There's a lot of artists out here on the independent scene that I'm really, really, really admiring. I think it's dope. Il Camille, she's from out here in Leimert Park. Of course, Dom Kennedy.
Independent is actually, I feel like, even stronger now because of quarantine, because most people can't really, I guess it's harder for the Drakes, although Drake I know is dropping something soon, of course.
He's dropping something January.
Yeah, because I figured that's why he had that heart engraved in his hairline, because I assume there's a love theme going on. But Aubrey. But yeah, no, I understand the independent thing. I personally am just happy about the female rapper movement kind of coming back to life. Personally.
Oh yeah. Okay, I gotta talk about this one girl.
Go ahead.
Pap Chanel.
Okay.
She's from Georgia.
Okay.
her voice is so defined. Like when she starts rapping, it's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like not only is she beautiful, like she's pretty, mm-hmm. but she be bussing. I'm talking about like bussing. I like Pap Chanel. I like Rhapsody, of course.
I love Rhapsody. She totally got me with this last CD.
Young M.A. is probably one of the best rappers I've heard. Not female rappers, best rappers I've heard. Okay. Who else do I like? Like I said, the homegirl Il Camille is fire. What's the other girl name? She's actually I met her once. Her name is Jada Mar. Okay. Jada Mar. She's from Baltimore, but she lives out here in LA. Okay. We run to each other in passing. She's pretty dope too. She a young cat, but she gonna be a nice lion once everything like just comes together. So
that's refreshing because you know me. I mean, I only have a point of reference with Eve, and you know, me and my sister shared a room, so it's like any music that filtered in the room through her was usually what I kind of, you know, I lived for Salt and Pepper, and I'm still a big Remy Ma fan in a way because I just always like certain lines of her songs that stick in my head. You know, I still love Conceited to this day because
Conceited is a great record.
It's a jam.
And Whatever. I love Whatever.
And it's Whatever because that's a good party song. That's a good party song. But the line that I always, and my girlfriends crack up when I say it, but my favorite line in Conceited is like, "You guys want to push up on me like a Wonder Bra." And I'm like, every time I hear that part, I'm like, that is the and I'm not really. I've never been a full Nicki Minaj fan, but there are certain songs that I love just her part in them, and that's it. Like I try to listen to a whole CD. She's not my vibe. I'm definitely liking Cardi more. I guess because Cardi feels more raw and real and not, even though they're all kind of doing the stuff to themselves, but you know, they're.
Nicki got a record called Yikes. That is out of here. It's called Yikes. It's good.
It's recent. It's recent.
It's good.
Okay, all right. You know, it's not that I don't like her. It's just, you know, when you come to people, I feel like the industry does pit women against women. Like, I don't even know if it could be that deep between her and Cardi other than just they don't want to lose their spot. But I just always feel like with Nicki, she always was so all over the place that and I'm sure she did it on purpose, but I couldn't really take her seriously as a MC until like she kind of like got rid of the color and just started just rapping and just went back to her normal hair. And just once you get all that distraction out, I want to see if you have talent, you know. And I feel like Nicki's good, but I think by the time she probably decided to kind of get away from so much of her image, it's like everybody already kind of labeled her one way and was like, okay, she's just gonna be like that forever. And I just want people to just kind of strip down, because I think the thing about Eve is you'll never see any fakeness from Eve. Like, I think whenever Eve raps, it's like, I feel like she is straight Philly and there's no like big fuss about her. Now she's just obviously grown up and doing this whole, I'm grown, married to a rich guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't really have to rap, but it's like when she did, I did love when she rapped. But okay, so moving away from that, how many albums have you put together since you became a rapper, or would you say that you officially have out there?
Okay, so I actually started really rapping in 2010. So this is like my 10th year of really trying to do something. My first project I ever put out was called Freshman But Destined. It is trash. It is horrible. Let me tell you, it is bad. It was just a mixture. It was just a mixture of just like songs that I made. I made this song called Overtime that I made the beat for, and it was just, that was the whole beat. The whole beat was like that. I mean, trash. Then like 2011, I put out another. These are known as projects. Like, I just put a solid project out. It was called I Got Next, and that was cool. Then I dropped another one called Thanks for Nothing. That got better. Like, I got better
as getting better.
The process was going, right? So then I dropped 2 EPs, which is Watch Me Work and Hold Your Applause. But it wasn't until 2016, where things started to change for me, per se. I was dealing with a very bad breakup at the time. Me and her, we cool now, but it was a bad breakup. We were living together. I just moved out. I was just like, I'm not doing this no more. I end up moving back in with my granny. So I kind of had to like humble myself and stuff. And I felt like the music I was putting out, I wasn't getting the attention that I thought I was gonna get. So I told my grandmother, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm done with music. And she was like, I didn't raise no quitter. Like, you need to do what makes you happy. Music has always made you happy. You've always done music, so just do music. So I told her, I said, okay, if I'm gonna do it, then you got to help me put it together. Now, my grandma at the time, she's in her 80s. Right. So it's like,
right,
what can I do to help? And I was like, oh, how about this? I tell my life story, but you narrate it.
Oh.
So what I would do was all of late 2016 and early 2017, I would record me and my grandmother's conversations. We would just talk about whatever. I'll ask her a random question, and that was that. I'm talking about like if we took a trip to Costco, we talked. I was recording it. If we went to In-N-Out, because that was her spot. She loved In-N-Out. If we went to In-N-Out, you know, we recorded conversations for that. And then in 2017, she had thyroid cancer, which is, you know, in the throat. And she was stage 3. And in her 80s, it was tough to fight. She fought for about 6 months, and then the Lord took her home. In the middle of that, I knew I had to finish off the project for her. So I think I recorded the last few songs like the week of her funeral. Wow. So as emotional as that was, I got it done. I packaged it up. That's how I came up with bacon, eggs, and grits, because that's what she would make for breakfast every morning. So we did that. That is still my biggest album. And that was like my first like real like album that was thought out and all that good stuff.
Right.
So I treat that as my very first album.
Okay.
Period. We wanted to keep a idea of this food-based type of projects. So the following year, I started to work on the Cookout. So the Cookout represents like the lunchtime, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone is vibing and stuff like that. That came out real well. It's a whole storyline. I mean, you've heard it.
I followed it.
When other people listen to it, you have to listen to it all the way through to get the whole story.
Right.
And then after that, I was trying to decide what I was going to call the third and final trilogy album of this like aura that I put together. And I said, okay, something with dinner. What the hell could go with dinner? And I was just like, well, when you go to dinner, you have to make reservations. I got the name of my next album. So yeah, I'm currently working on my brand new album called Reservations. It's looking like it's going to drop into 2021. I'm not sure when, but it will drop in 2021. We've already started the process of getting records and putting it all together and getting the production and stuff right. So yeah, so to answer your question, I have 2 albums out now, 3 on the way. I don't really count the other ones because it's just it's whatever.
Right.
But I have 2 albums out now. Number 3 is on the way.
Cool. You have to do a process, and I think you're always kind of doing what Maxwell did with Midsummer Night, where he had like mid, and then he had summer, and then the night was the final project of the trilogy. That's awesome, though. Now, also, what do you? Okay, so say like 5 years from now, and I usually hate these questions, but some people can answer it better than I would because I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. What would you feel like your plans for Picclo the artist would be? Do you want to be one of those artists that eventually branches out and nourishes other artists, or do you kind of just see yourself kind of switching lanes and doing something entrepreneur? Like, where do you want to go?
Well, I've always been down to work and collab and help other artists. Now, the funny thing was that when I started this, the people that were my OGs, like I was young, like I was 21, 22 when I started on this journey. And now I noticed that I'm starting to become the OG for the younger generation.
How quick that happens,
Fuck, okay.
I'll deal with it. It's a blessing.
I do look forward to being in pretty much like manager type role. I'm obviously always going to be connected to music. I think I'm going to always do music. I'm a musician first. That's just something that I'm just always going to be about. But then the goal is to get my production and my current music background, which is CMXV recordings, and to, have my own artists under that umbrella and things like that. And, put out their music and hopefully grabs the attention of fans and just take it to the next level.
Do you want to have like Prince did with the Paisley Park? Do you want to have your own like compound where you just have live shows and
the CMXV compound? I would love to build something like that. Like
that's awesome.
It could be an area where like all my artists is like, okay, we're in Studio A today or Studio B or Studio.
Right.
There's 3 different studios and everybody's working and they're putting something together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's something I think is, if I was a fly on the wall before Prince passed, is like I would love to have gone to Paisley Park, because I've heard stories of people who get those last minute invitations. I know that my mother used to be friends with a lady who's like obsessed with anything Prince, and sure. I think she did go to a party, but those just sound like fun, like kind of guerrilla style, where they were just suddenly you're invited, but you're not supposed to tell anybody, and then you end up showing up and it's like a live show. But that's awesome. But all right, so that's all I wanted to ask. But if you want to ask me something random, go ahead.
Okay, so obviously we're both Bird fans, obviously. So who is your favorite Eagle and why?
Wait, of all time or just?
All time.
Brian Dawkins.
Why is that the universal answer? Everyone goes.
You know why? Because he emits everything that we've wanted since day one: is passion, is effort, is strength. We don't have that consistently in anybody present day that embodies that. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, those linebackers were huge. Back in the day, the O-lines were huge. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that Brian is a man of God, I love even more, because he came from such a heart. Like now that he's revealed why he's such a faithful man of God, that's even a more of a plus, because I feel like he got that strength not just because he was lifting weights. He got that strength because he survived, a lot of his mental trauma. And Black men don't talk about that until now, because it's just not manly to talk about being vulnerable. And I just feel like in general, until we get someone, because we ain't yet had a safety like him, he's to me the truest Eagle of all. And I understand that's corny now, because now that he's a Hall of Famer, it's kind of like, all right, he's not the only Eagle. But when I think about an Eagle, to me, that embodies a true, real player. And I don't care if he's never won a Super Bowl with that team, but you're always going to remember him. And he's always, to me, a symbol of what you'd like to see in a fan in your team now, is outward strength and actual effort and results, and we don't have that consistency anymore. So that's why.
Got you.
Who's yours? Greatest of all time, I guess I should say.
No. He's the Eagle GOAT. He's on the Mount Rushmore of Philadelphia to me. But I have to be honest, like Donovan McNabb is the reason why I'm an Eagles fan. Like he was the first Black quarterback that I saw that was running and throwing, and he beat the greatest show on turf. Like the first time I seen him play, he beat the Rams, and I'm like, didn't they just win the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
the Black quarterback beat them. Oh yeah, I'm running with them.
Yeah,
and then that's when I learned about the Troy Vincents, Brian Dawkins, Freddie Mitchell.
They're just so great. My hand.
Shut up.
I know.
Shut up, Freddie
That
Mitchell.
was one time.
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's all he's known for is 4th and 26.
4th and 26. We all know the Packer game. To me, Donovan is obviously, he is the greatest Eagle of all time thus far. I don't care whether he got a Super Bowl or not. I think that what Donovan showed was that what Carson, I think, wants to show, but he just doesn't have that Donovan had. But Donovan had obviously his weak points. And I think there were times that even that's why my father gave up after that Super Bowl. He was like, they break my heart too many times. I'm done. He was done after that Super Bowl loss. And, but Donovan to me will always remind me of that game when I was out with friends at Manayunk watching them kill the Cowboys that Monday night. And that scramble is my favorite Donovan clip ever. That, I don't know how long it was, but they showed how long he took to buy time to find Freddie. And that to me is the best example of Donovan McNabb
he's my guy. I'm rolling with Donovan. I understand all the BS with T.O. and
I mean that was also just we're doing with that now. Like that's still the same issues with the
it's all the same. He wasn't good enough to win one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, 5 NFC championship appearances, 1 Super Bowl appearance out of it. Okay.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, we haven't strung that.
We haven't had a good quarterback like that that's been that consistent
No, we haven't. And that's the one thing. I know people they think it's not a big deal, but it was a big deal at the time. Like it was almost like it was a given that they would win the conference every year or at least the NFC East.
Yeah.
We won it last year with Carson and them, but it didn't matter because it didn't last that long. And one, they expected them to win. I don't feel like they're going to make the playoffs this year. All the other discussions I've had.
Who not making the playoffs this year? Who not? The Eagles?
I don't see it.
No. Listen. We're making the playoffs.
He said, who are you?
We're making the playoffs.
I just feel like, if they beat the Seahawks, to me, that'll be an accomplishment because I feel like even they could have beat the Seahawks last year with nobody. To me, that'll be the big wow if they beat them. Everybody else, I don't think they're going to beat. I think there's going to be some stupid way to lose. Although,
hear me out.
Now with Drew Brees gone, maybe they could win and they could beat the Saints, but I'm not sure.
We're going to the playoffs.
We should with this crappy division.
That's all I'm going to say.
I know.
We're going.
I just feel like Donnie Dimes ran on us twice. Like, you don't think they can just snatch it from behind? That's what I'm nervous about.
Yeah, I get it. But one, our division is that terrible.
I know.
One.
I don't think we're that bad of a team to trip, but I'm also cautious every week. Like, I watch it with fear. Every game I watch with fear.
I'm still rolling with Carson.
Look, I had 2 weeks where I really was like, F him. Like, because I used to defend him to the T. And now I'm like, God, But I know now that it's Doug, it's him, it's Howie's issues with the trades. Everything is now starting to come to a fruition why this team can never get over the hump. And 2017 wasn't a fluke year, but it was obviously the best year for now. But I'm over it. I'm over the Super Bowl thing. I just want them to prove, and I just want Carson to get one just to shut all of us haters up because
I'm tired of the Foles.
We all are. I mean, he just got hurt. I feel like he should retire. I've never been a fan of that whole argument to begin with. Every time I hear it, I tweet like, please don't go here. We don't need this anymore.
Yes, please.
But it was a great year and I still hate the statue and I want them to burn it.
Is it still there?
It's still there. It's in Head House Plaza. I hate it. It was a joke, I thought, from Budweiser. I really thought it was just going to be that year and then they were going to get rid of it. But they were like, nope, Philly, that's our gift to you. And
okay, so obviously I haven't been to Philly since last season.
Yeah.
Last season. Do they still have like the Super Bowl banners up? Like Super Bowl champ?
Yes, as far as I think last time. And I was hoping they were going to redo it because I think they shouldn't have called it. We had a problem with the way they titled it. Like it shouldn't be was it champions or world champ? There was something we were all saying they should redo the banner, but I think they do still have it up.
Not the banner that's in the stadium, not the one that's hanging up. I know that's going to be there forever.
Oh, which one?
I'm talking about like outside of the link. They used to have Super Bowl, like Super Bowl.
Oh, no. They took that down, I think even before this.
Like at the end of.
Yeah, because I remember my sister, when she came to visit, she said, they took it down already? And I'm like, they did? And she's like, yeah. It was up for like a good minute, and then they quickly were like, all right, moving on.
Well, I'm glad. I'm happy I was able to see the banner get raised. That's one of my life. That's one of my life accomplishments. Thanks to the homies at 4th and Jawn. Like they helped make sure that I was in the building that day. So
that was because that was the opener, right? That was the Falcons.
That was the opener against the Falcons Thursday night. It was hot as shit that day.
It was, and then it was just a bad game. Like I was mad they played so poorly.
It was terrible. They won, but it was terrible.
They booed them at halftime. I said, yes, you should. You're going to come back from being MVP and play like that.
Right. Horrible.
But all right. Cool. Well, if you don't have any other questions, Picclo, I'm very excited that we did this. And I'm hopeful that I'm trying to find something to do where, now I know we have a time frame issue with us being East West Coast, but I told one of my other girlfriends on Twitter that I want to do like a happy hour type of thing, but I want to kind of make it like a reason for everybody to kind of get to know each other, but like only a certain amount of people because everybody's gonna be stepping on each other. So if you're down to do that, it'd be kind of like a grown person happy hour.
I'm super down. Happy hour starts whenever there's liquor around.
Look, what do we always say? It's 5:00 somewhere.
5:00 somewhere.
Look, and I'm just waiting for my wine delivery to come for this next game because I can't not drink wine while watching the Eagles lately because my nerves are that shot by like kickoff.
I'm not even mad at that.
It's bad, but I'm hopefully like they'll come back like they did last year because those last 4 games were awesome to see them just literally crawl out the hole with Carson with nobody out there.
I think we're gonna have a similar situation. Like next week, I think we play the Seahawks. No, we don't play the
Seahawks. Browns. We're going to Cleveland.
We can beat the Browns.
I think we can too, but
the Seahawks is the Monday night game, and then they got who after that?
And then after that, it's Saints. Saints or
that's a winnable game since Drew Brees is not playing. If Jameis Winston is playing, that's a winnable game.
We might get some picks.
For real. Feel me? And then like all of December, if I'm not mistaken, is all division games.
All division games, but Giants got 1 out of 1, so we didn't get to sweep them. We should have swept them. We should have swept them, but Dallas will be in Dallas, so hopefully
we'll beat them.
Quarterback number 5 won't be as good as Winston.
We'll beat the Redskins because they're.
We shouldn't have lost the opener.
We'll probably finish like
6-10, 7-9. I don't know what's left.
7-8-1.
7-8-1. Yeah.
7-8-1. Yep.
Sounds about right because I mean, usually if they're having an okay year, it usually ends up being 8-8 or 7-9 at the worst. I mean, honestly, when Carson was a rookie and they threw him in, it was a 7-9 year.
The very next year, we went 13-3 and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and everybody was pretty confident with his abilities. So that's why another reason why it's frustrating because like how does he suddenly lose the ability to quarterback in the span of 2 years? And then I got nervous that
because he's married now and he's having.
That's what everybody keeps saying, but I'm like, no. If anything, that should make him press less because it's not that important to him. His baby's more important, but
yeah, for sure.
Every time I look at him now, I'm just kind of confused. I'm like, Carson, what are you doing? Where are you throwing? Who was there? Nobody was there, boo. Nobody's home. But all right, people,
and we can make this playoff run. And you know what? When it comes to playoffs, anything can happen. That's all I'm gonna say.
This is true. I know, and this is the stuff that sucks me in again because I always try to say I'm not gonna watch, but I know I am. So look, go Birds all day. Go Birds. Well, thank you, Picclo, for joining Birds of a Feather.
No
for questions. And I will be peeping in reservations when it drops because
it's coming.
I'm feeling the cookout.
Just so y'all know, for everyone that is going to be watching this, you can follow me at Picclo CMXV. That is PICCLO CMXV. That's across all platforms: Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Cool. And look out for that. I got a brand new video and song dropping this Friday on YouTube.
Are you doing a midnight drop or is just?
It's a midnight drop. It'll drop on midnight your time. So.
Got you. I better say. Okay, cool. That's another thing I meant to say. Plug your stuff because I just did that with my other friend. I forgot. I'm stuck because I'm hungry. But thank you so much for doing this for me. And I'll be hitting you up soon, and you'll see us on Twitter. I'm sure we'll all be. Throw the ball, Carson.
Like, damn, Carson.
Damn, man. Did you just learn to play? Anyway, all right, brother. Thank you so much for joining. Take it easy. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.